Okay, so welcome back. We're going to look at mandatory constraints. In the last one we looked at frequency and value constraints. So what we're going to do, the mandatory constraint basically says that an entity has to do that role. So it basically says you must store this data in the database. It must be stored for it. So this is shown in object role modeling by using this little dot thing over here. So it's underneath the uniqueness constraint. This dot here, that applies to say that this role must be played. So if we say a student must study at least one subject, or at least between 5 and 7 subjects, we click on that dot and then we click on the role. So that dot there is now saying that every student must study between 5 and 7 subjects. Obviously we can do it back the other way. A subject has to have between 8 and 25 students in it. We click on that one, it adds it there. So now we've got dots there. And then you can go through the rest of your diagram and figure that one out. Do we have to store a name for a student? Yes, we do. Do we have to store a gender for each student? Yes, we do. And so we can easily do that. Does a student have to belong to a PC? Yes, it does. Again, we can limit the number of kids that we want on the PC by using a frequency constraint like this one up here, but we're not. Notice that we now have these wonderful dots here. They don't have to go back the other way. Does a PC have to have students? Well, generally yes, so we can assign that. Does a gender have to belong to a student? Well, if we have an all boys year, then no, it doesn't. So that'll work that way. So that's mandatory constraints. This one here, it says that it has to be run. So it's just below the uniqueness constraint, mandatory there.